The AK-63 is a Hungarian variant of the AKM assault rifle manufactured by the Fegyver EOQ-SGE Pgyár State Arms plant in Hungary. It is currently used by the Hungarian Ground Forces as its standard infantry weapon and by most other branches of the Hungarian Defence Forces. In Hungarian service, the AK-63 replaced the AMD-65, which is nearly identical but features a modified heat shield and a vertical forward hand grip under the barrel. Although the AMD-65 had been the Hungarian service rifle since 1965, it was more expensive to build, and the forward grips had a reputation for being easily damaged in the field. In the late 1970s, the Hungarian Defence Ministry requested that Fegyver manufacture a Gépgyár rifle based on the more traditional Soviet AKM design. By the end of 1977, the AK-63 was adopted by the Hungarian People's Army. In 1978, Fegyver added a folding stock AKMS version of the AK-63 to the catalogue. Thereafter, the fixed stock AK-63 became known as the AK-63F and the folding stock version was designated AK-63D. In Hungarian service, the AK-63F and D are designated as the AMM and AMMS, respectively. Features: the AK-63F and D are both nearly identical externally to the USSR-manufactured AKM and AKMS. The main difference is that the AK-63 series retains the distinctive-looking straight pistol grip of the AKM-63. The forward hand grip of the AK-63 also lacks the palm swells which characterized the Soviet AKM. The wood on the AK-63, like that of the AKM-63, has a bright, laminated blonde finish. Export users. During the Cold War and afterwards, the AK-63 series was widely exported to a number of nations in Eastern Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and South America. Iraq under Saddam Hussein was the first major export customer to receive the AK-63, which it began importing in large numbers in 1979 to equip its armed forces. These rifles made their combat debut in the hands of Iraqi soldiers during the Iran-Iraq War in 1980 to 1988. During the war, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards and many of the local militias which participated in the fighting were also armed with AK-63s. These were most likely acquired by capturing them from the Iraqis. The AK-63 was used by Iraqi forces again during the Gulf War in 1990–91, and later turned up in Kurdish and Shiite hands during the insurrections in Iraq throughout the 1990s. The AK-63 was also exported to the Sandinista government in Nicaragua, which used them to fight the Contras in the 1980s. Significant numbers of AK-63s were also sent to the FMLN in nearby El Salvador starting in late 1984 and 1985. One estimate suggested that about 11,000 AK-63 rifles may have been sent to the region over a 5-year period. Since the end of the Cold War, the AK-63 has also turned up regularly in the hands of militants in Somalia and Zambia, and was also purchased by Croatian forces for use during the Croatian War of Independence. Photographic evidence shows that the AK-63 is one of the primary rifles in use by the Kurdish YPG, YPJ and PKK forces in Syria and Iraq. In 1985, a semi-automatic version of the AK-63 was exported to the United States for civilian consumption, imported by Kazna, which sold it as the SA-85M. It was only available in its pre-ban form for a few years before the 1989 assault weapons importation ban. since only about 7,000 pre-bands R-85 megaseconds were imported prior to 1989. It is now considered a collector's item amongst firearms enthusiasts and commands high prices. The post-ban version of the SA-85M, featuring a thumbhole stock, was discontinued after only a few years of importation. However, in recent years, several companies in the United States have built clones of these rifles from Hungarian parts kits on American-made receivers. Variants: AK-63F, the basic fixed stock copy of the Soviet AKM. AK-63D, an AKMS copy with an underfolding steel stock. AK-63MF, modernized AK-63D with telescopic stock and MIL STD-1913 Picatinny rail. SA-85M, a semi-automatic only version intended for civilian sales in the United States, imported by Kastner in both pre- and post-ban versions. SA-2000S Clinton ban-era AKM with single-stack magazine, exclusively for the U.S. market. AK-63MF. 7,700 pieces of the AK-63 have been modernized in the Hungarian Armed Forces and received the designation AK-63MF. The modernization included Picatinny rails, new hand grips, and a barrel grenade launcher, new sights, flashlights, etc. CAACBS plus ACP telescopic stock, Brugger and AMP, Tomit BT21428 gas block, side mount, Heckler and AMP, Koch M320 grenade launcher module, aimpoint comp M2 sight, aimpoint 3x magnification sight, inside technology and PEQ2 target pointer, illuminator, aiming light laser sight. CAABP grip with bipod. CAAG-47 hand grip. Uses: Croatia, Hungary, main service rifle of the Hungarian Defence Forces. Iran, captured during 1980s from Iraqi army. Iraq, Nicaragua.